So now we're going to go ahead and scan the barcode integration, and we're going to test and see the final result. Once it sends to the printer, we're going to go ahead and print it. Already started sending to the printer. And now you can see here 16 by 21, and it's exactly how the customer had placed it in the first place. So then the final test is to actually see the end result and compare it to the customer's online generated mockup. And it's done. So you can see here our image loaded and printed exactly how the customer wanted. So barcode workflow plus Qstomizer sample order automation. There you have it. Here we can see this customer has placed an order for a front print of a picture of something going on there. On the back, there's nothing there. If we click these two links, we can get a quick preview, but we won't be able to see things on the sleeves. But that's okay, because when we go to the Qstomizer, we can go ahead and see what they actually put on the garment. This order is 2737. We can see here this order is 2737. If we click this magnifying glass right here, it will take us directly to the order, and it will show us what sides were customized. So we can see only front is customized. There's no back, no right sleeve, no left sleeve. We're going to turn this into in production. Since we're working on it now, we're going to generate and download, and then you'll see it's cropped out in our 16 by 21 inch frame. So in order to download this image without the black background and the red dots, you're just going to click hide die cut, hide the background color, click on this checkbox and leave it as squared shape. Basically what this does is crop out the dotted lines, but it's just doing it like invisibly without showing the red lines. So you hide that, you hide the color, click this button. It's already pre-selected for you, so all you have to do is just click these three buttons. It's super simple, super easy process. It's literally 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, and then 3. And you would just download PNG. Once you download it, it will essentially be the right size, exactly how the customer placed it, exactly how it should be on your Platen. I'll just show you a quick example of how it looks when we upload it on a 16 by 21 inch Platen here. So you can see I selected 16 by 21, and when we upload the image, it is directly spot on. So 1.5 inches down from the top of the Platen, it looks to be about 14 inches wide, or 12 inches wide, sorry. Basically exactly how the customer placed it on the hoodie. And you see here the lines, it's exactly lined up with the 16 by 21 inch square. So that means the image itself is 16 by 21 inches. If you're printing your samples manually, this method with Qstomizer will still save you a ton of time. And welcome back to another technical portion of this course. Today I'm going to be showing you how to set up your Qstomizer products to allow sample orders on your website to look like this with the customize button and everything, how it works in tune with the barcode workflow, and basically how to make things seamless for your customers and yourself and printing samples on demand. Now there is two ways to do this. You can either use the built-in Qstomizer and not have to use Qstomizer, but for those of you who want this aesthetic and kind of more options when your customer uploads their image, for instance, like editing the image within your website, adding filters, even adding text and being able to mark up their graphic on their sample order. I think this is a very intuitive tool for those of you who want to offer even more customization to your audience, and I think they will love you for it. The ability to set this up here and edit their images in app. What we see a lot is people actually putting multiple designs and making their images within the app on the garment, which I think is very cool, which is why we still use Qstomizer to this day. The first thing you want to do is set up your product. We're going to start off with the Comfort Color 1717 t-shirt. We're going to make sure it is active. We're going to make sure we set up all the variants, all the colors and everything. And then we install our Qstomizer app. Once on the Qstomizer app, you're going to go to your products, add customizable product, and then select the t-shirt that you created. So we're going to choose 1717. We're going to search for it, and we're going to find our Comfort Color 1717 product. Select this product, and then we're going to choose a template. So all this is, you can really choose anyone that has like 2 sides or whatever it's showing, the print locations. You can honestly choose whatever blank, it doesn't really matter. These are just templates. They're not really representative of the product itself. So you can really choose a product that has 2 sides. We're just gonna select this men's t-shirt. It has 2 customizable sizes. We're gonna assign template. We're gonna turn on show customize button, and then we're gonna remove the add to cart button. This will prevent customers from going ahead and adding the blank to the cart without actually customizing it first, and prevent a lot of people from questioning like, how come you guys didn't like print their garment and stuff like that. Just remove a lot of confusion. So they have to customize the product first before actually checking out on your website. You hit apply final settings and it will set up the product for you. Once you apply the settings, you should be able to find your garment here. Here is the Comfort Color 1717 t-shirt. All we did was go to products, then click on clothes, and you'll find the one that you created here. Just click that, and then it will take you to the product page. So we can see here it's linked to the Comfort Color 1717. We can link it with a different product if we choose to. We can edit the name. The name will probably say like a generic name like the men's t-shirt that we selected. But here you can go ahead and change that so it's more recognizable when you're looking at your products. But the most important thing here is to make sure that your colors and variants are set up. So I'll go through these slowly so that you can just go ahead, probably pause the video and just save these settings that we have here. These are the ultimate settings that you need to make sure everything is perfect. But some of these things are with the Pro plan, so you're going to need to get the Pro plan, which is $50 a month. You can use a free plan if you want to. We just recommend the Pro plan because it removes the Qstomizer watermark, so other companies don't know what application you're using. And it also allows customers to upload larger files, I think up to 99 megabytes. Their image could be up to 99 megabytes. And a lot of people have super large files. Especially since we're doing like large printing here, their file might be upwards of 99 megabytes and you don't want to limit them from uploading a larger image. Just make sure you get the Pro plan if that's something you're worried about. This is what our pricing settings look like. Image and clip art settings, PDF settings, text and fonts, image filters, color variations, and design templates. We don't currently have these parts set up. It's not necessary for what I'm about to show you, but the colors and variants are the most important settings that you're going to mess with. First, down here, you'll see your first default product. Here, we already have this all customized already. It's probably going to show like a white t-shirt as your default, but as you can see here, you could change what your default product is. However, you would just do that by clicking add image variation. You would add the color, the front mockup, the back mockup. If it's a red t-shirt, you'd add the front and back. Red t-shirt, you would choose red, you would name it red, and then you would link it basically with the red colorway that you created on the Shopify product page. So red with red, and you would add the images. But before you do that, you want to make sure that your default product is perfected. I'll show you how to do that first. So your first product here, your default product, you're going to go to your front image and change it. You're going to upload the product image. As you can see here, we have the front Comfort Colors black t-shirt mockup here for the front. And then for the back, we have the back Comfort Colors mockup t-shirt for the back. The most important thing here is to make sure that the size of your customization box is the same size as your printer platen, right? If you're printing at 14 by 16, 16 by 14, 10 by 12, whatever size your default garment printer platen is, this box needs to line up with it. That will allow your customers to seamlessly place their graphics wherever they want, and you will be able to download the image and it will be placed exactly how the customer placed their graphic. This will prevent you from having to move things around and it will turn your process into simply downloading the images and saving them to the product. So when you scan the barcode, it's automatically uploaded with the same placement settings that your customer did on their own. So there's no human error. There's no messing around with things manually. It's simply downloading an image, scanning a barcode, and printing a garment and having a happy customer. Now that you understand how this all works, you want to make sure the size pixels are relevant to the size of the Platen. And you're probably wondering, how do we figure this out? We actually went ahead and tested a bunch of times to figure out how many pixels were equivalent to how many inches. And we came to the conclusion that there are about 18.43 pixels for every inch, whether that's vertically or horizontally. It is 18.43 pixels for every inch here. And since our Platen size is 16 by 21, if we go ahead and do the math here, we can multiply 16 times 18.43, and we get 294.88, which is then rounded up to 295. And then again, we're gonna go ahead and do 21, since it's 21 inches tall, by 18.43, we get 387.03, just rounded up to 388. To be safe. If you have a Platen that is currently, let's do 14 by 16, I believe is the most popular Platen. If you're printing 14 by 16, you want to make sure your pixel size here is 14 times 18.83, 263. So I would just do 264 by 16 times 18.43. I think it's, yeah, 295. 295. Well, 294.88 rounded up to 295. So that's what you would make your Platen size, or basically your pixel sizes, if you had a Platen that was 14 by 16. Having this knowledge of the graphic sizes and the pixels is going to save you a ton of time. And I'm so excited to show you how this works and get you started, because this honestly has changed our shop for the better in so many ways. Like, it's unexplainable how useful the sample order automation process is for your print shop. And yeah, I'm just very happy to show you this and get you fully on board. That's how you calculate the inches. It's 18.43 by the amount of inches, and that's how you get the amount of pixels that it takes up. Once you figure that out and get your square, you're gonna go ahead and upload your product image, but your product image might be too big or too small, and it's just not showing up correctly. So you just want to make sure you resize your image to fit within this square. I'm gonna actually include a template for you, so you can just make sure all your images fit within that square. It's easier for you to upload your products and just make sure they're not too big, too small, and the entire box is like covering the product. Let's just say we wanted to upload this mockup, but we can see here the square is way too big. We would have to basically resize this mockup and make the square. Since we can't change the square around and make it any smaller, because then it will affect our pixel count, we would have to change the image, which would mean we would have to resize the mockup itself, download it, go into Photoshop, make it bigger so that the box fits within the square of the hoodie. But I'm not going to change it now. I'll just go back to the t-shirt so we don't end up losing our actual mockup here. But yeah, you want to make sure your product is bigger than the square and fits nicely how it should look. You don't have to adjust the square, because again, if you end up changing your square around, you will run into the issue of having it the wrong size, and then you're stuck inside your RIP software trying to resize graphics to make it look like what your customer uploaded. So you don't want to touch the square. The square is your priority. Just change your mockups, resize them in Photoshop to make them fit within this box. So yeah, I will go ahead and just include that template for you, so you can just make your mockups all the same size so that your boxes can fit on them nice and neatly. Now that you have your front customized, you're going to go ahead and do the same thing for the back image. So again, it's just adjusting the square and then making sure that the square fits within the product and clicking save. And once your default product is created, any new product that you add, so when you add image variation, it will automatically keep the same square size, position, and dimensions. You're not constantly trying to change the squares for all of these individually. That's why it's important to get your default product done first. Any new variation you make will copy the default product placement and images. And a trick you can also use is when you create your product image here, you can just overlay all the other colors in the same exact placement. When you upload the image, they also automatically snap onto the same exact area that your first default product was. As you can see here, the navy blue is in the same exact position, the gray is in the same exact position, and we didn't have to move anything around. We just made the default product, and then we just uploaded the images of all the other t-shirts. And since we overlaid them over this first black t-shirt, they all ended up being in the same position without me having to change anything at all. Just uploading the image front and back and only changing the square around once on this first default product. Now that we have all of this saved and all of our products and variants are linked, I'll just go ahead and just scroll through slowly so you can just see maybe if you're missing anything, any settings that you want to copy. But for the most part, it's very simple. In this course, I've also included the thousands of free mockups for you. This is actually the mockup templates that we're using here. We got it from Stahls, which is the free source I'm giving to all of you who are taking this course currently. So you can go ahead in lesson number 2. If we add more lessons, it might not be number 2 anymore, but you can go ahead and find the thousands of mockups for free that we're giving you. It's our code from Stahls. Just head over there, download the mockup pack, download all the blanks that you're going to be using, and just save the different colors. They should all already be lined up nicely. All you'll have to do is just make sure that they fit nicely behind the box. The next thing you can do too for your long sleeves and hoodies, if you do offer sleeve prints, you can go ahead and add a side. So you just click modify sides here, and you would basically click add side here. It'll pop up a new tab here, and we'll just do test. So this could be your right or left sleeve. You select image. In our case, we use like a vector image for it, but I'll show you in a bit how that works. And then we just edit print area. It'll just ask you measure unit size of product. We'll just do 3.5 inches because that's how wide our print size is. And then we'll just click this box here, which allows us to do a rectangle. You want to be paying attention to the size in pixels. And if you're using the custom Platen's dual sleeve Platen that we are using, it should be 3.5 by 17 inches tall. So we'll just go ahead and calculate 3.5 times 18.43, 64.5, 64. The reason we're rounding down is because with sleeves and the skinnier Platen, you want to make sure that it's not going too far across the sides of the sleeves, because then it's really going to get cut off. Since the Platen has like a bracket on both sides, it will actually print on the bracket. So however you're printing sleeves, if you're not using the Platen, it's completely up to you what size you make it. But if you are using the Platen, just make sure that you're rounding down so the image isn't too big and doesn't end up going over the Platen holder. And then quickly, we're just gonna go ahead and do 18.43 times 17 inches, and we get 313.31. Just make this 313 by 64. There we have it. We have 3.5 inches by 17 inches tall, and that is our sleeve print placement. Just click save print area, and it will make your print area look like this with the image and everything. Again, you just want to make sure your default product is fully set up first before adding in all your other variations, just so that they're all the same size and everything, and you don't have to go in and try to, change things around for every single variation. Just make your default product first, and then just basically duplicate it by clicking add image variation. If we click change here, we can see we just use the vector mockup. And as I showed you in the last example, it is 64 by 313 pixels, which is 3.5 by 17 inches tall. But yeah, we just used vector for this because we figured it might just be easier to upload our images so we don't have to find a color for every single like garment type, like, you know, vintage black. It'll just be easier to just use like a vintage black looking vector file, and all we would have to do is just change the color of the vector file instead of finding a realistic mock-up for the side profile that can fit the 3.5 by 17 inch block within it. The only way to do that efficiently was basically creating a flat vector sleeve image mock-up of it. That's how you make your sides in Qstomizer for front, back, and sleeve prints. You can take the same exact rules and apply them to any print location that you want. Granted, the Platen size is correct and your mockups fit behind the customization square. I hope I was able to help you connect your store with Qstomizer and improve your sample order workflow, most importantly. So if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out. We look forward to helping you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.